Ramadan in America.
I miss it as well.
Yeah, yeah, because it just has a different flavor. I guess you say different style. Very nice. Very nice.
It does indeed. Okay, we might, inshallah, maybe we'll get a chance to come back to that. Now, all right. So you've become Muslim, alhamdulillah. So now you make a move to learn more about Islam, and you go and end up into Saudi Arabia. So what made you but you left specifically to learn more about Islam, is that it?
Exactly.
Yeah. So tell us about that experience, and obviously I assume you taught in, you learned or were in school in Medina?
Yes, but before I got to Medina, there's a trip before I got there. I went to Sudan first of all.
Oh, okay.
And what happened is that, like I said, I was 18 years old, and like most Americans, we don't have a lot of knowledge of what's going on around the world.
Around the world. This is true.
And I'll tell you a funny story about that. My friend from Sudan, he told me that when he would meet people, he would tell them, I'm from Sudan. He said, to the west of Saudi Arabia, to the south of Egypt.
Of Egypt, yes.
Because they didn't know where Sudan was.
Yes.
So he told one, and he said he was in a library in his university we were studying, and he told the clerk there working in the library, and she said, no, she said, I'm not from America, I'm European. She said, I know where Sudan is.
Wow, fantastic.
So Americans, for us, the world is 50 states.
That's it.
You might even know the 50 states.
And we don't even know all of them. Exactly.
But this is the world.
That's the world for most Americans.
We don't know what's going on in Canada, we don't know what's going on in South and Mexico.
This is quite true.
Yeah, so this is what I became Muslim, and I don't know anything what's going on around the world.
Yes.
But like I told you, I found love for the Sunnah, and I wanted to learn more.
But why Sudan?
Okay, I'm coming to that. So I wanted to go out to seek knowledge. My friends at that time in the mosque were mostly originally from Pakistan and from India.
Yes.
So they, the only advice they could give me was to go to where they knew, which is in Pakistan or India. But I sat back and thought about it, to learn Islam through a language other than the language of the Quran and Sunnah, being Arabic. It's not something I want to do.
Particularly if you're going to leave your home to do so.
Yeah.
You may as well go to an Arabic-speaking country.
So I said, no, that's what I said. That will help me out greatly. I'll go to an Arabic-speaking country, and I'll learn. I said, if I'm blessed to learn one language, is enough. And the one I want to learn, to be blessed to learn, is the Arabic language, obviously, so I can understand the Quran and the Sunnah. So I didn't know where to go. I mean, obviously, I heard of Saudi Arabia, but maybe it's difficult to get there, different reasons. What have you. I was looking for maybe another country that would be easier to go to. And what happened is I was in Baltimore, and the imam there in the masjid at that time, he was later imam in Virginia as well, he came to the mosque and he was wearing his Sudanese attire, the big, they call it the jalabiya and the turban and what have you. And I asked him, I saw him, I said, okay, I'll go to Sudan. I don't know anything about Sudan. Never even heard of the place, and so I became Muslim, So I said, I'll go to Sudan. I'm thinking it's like any other country in the world, regular,
Yes.
I didn't know, it's it's much more advanced now in these days, but at that time I went there before, it wasn't. So what I said, I want to go to Sudan. And he gave me some, recommendations. I got on the plane with these recommendations, didn't have any there's no phones there at that time, very limited amount of phones around the Khartoum at that time. Yes. So I said, no way I'd do it today, without, making sure somebody's going to be there at the airport.
And you went alone?
I went alone. I had my papers, recommendations. He gave me some to the university there, what have you. And the funny thing is I was giving the khutbah for Jummah in Sudan maybe about 6 months ago.
From this time?
From now, yeah.
Yes.
6 months ago. And after I prayed, I saw the same imam. He's gotten a little older now. I guess in his later in the late 60s maybe, I'm assuming, if not in his early 70s. So I saw him, and I gave him salams. I said, I'm so and so, and I said, you're the one actually who sent me here to Sudan.
Wow. Oh, the same imam from America?
From America. He was there in Sudan.
But he was there in Sudan.
And he actually prayed in the masjid where I used to be the khatib before I came to the Emirates here.
Yes.
I was the khatib of a masjid with the khutbahs in English.
Wow,
so I gave the khutbah, and I see him there. So he didn't remember, Like I said, he said, honestly, I'm sorry, brother, I don't remember that I sent you.
Oh, mashallah.
I said, whatever it is, alhamdulillah. I said, everything I do now, all the study I did 10 years in Medina, and all the, the lectures I gave in the khutbah, I said, you get the ajr, inshallah, for it, because you don't want to send me, inshallah ta'ala. So he was very happy about that, obviously.
Alhamdulillah.
So this is, just for no reason, particular reason, I saw this guy, and I decided I wanted to go to Sudan. So I went to Sudan, and I stayed there for a little over a year. Alhamdulillah, I ended up getting married there from a Sudanese sister after about 6 months. So I guess, in your qadr, and that what has been in your destiny, what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has decided for you, that's why I was sent there, so I could get married, inshallah. And I'm still married till today from there, with our kids and everything. So that's why, I ended up going there. Later on, the brothers there, they informed me that if you want, very good quality knowledge and you want to be able to find better opportunities to learn,
yes,
we advise you to go to Saudi Arabia. So that's when the path started towards Saudi Arabia to learn there.
Good. So how long were you in, so you were in Sudan for how many years?
Altogether, because I went back there after I graduated,
yes,
for about 4 years altogether.
Yes.
But in the beginning, about a year only.
About a year only, okay.
4, yeah.
And so you went to Saudi Arabia, obviously to Medina first, I mean, as far as the study is concerned, or?
No, actually, it wasn't that easy. What happened is that some of my teachers there and my friends, some of them were from the students of Sheikh Rahimahullah. So during that time when I went there at first, I couldn't get to Riyadh where he was because they wouldn't let you travel there in those days.
Yes.
I mean, now it's easier, but you couldn't during those days. So one time when the Sheikh, he came to Mecca, to his house in Mecca, I had heard, and I went there a second time and to meet the Sheikh with this recommendation I had for him from his students in Sudan. So when he heard the recommendation, and it's actually a very interesting story with how it happened, is because when I went in, and the Sheikh, who was very helpful, used to love to help people. So, Rahimahullah. So he used to come, and when I was in the sitting, there was this guy sitting there with all these papers about this, stack like, and I'm not joking, this big. And I remember he was talking to a sister from France. She was giving,
on the phone,
asking about different questions. He was answering. So when he finished, the guy was talking to him. He would read the letters to him. So what happened is I was hesitant. I said, if I give him my paper, he won't read it for 2 weeks. So I said, I'm just not going to go. I started to go back. And I said, just try. Maybe he'll read it, maybe not. I said, it can't hurt you.
Yeah, exactly.
So I went in, I gave the paper. And the Sheikh, he really loves, his name is Sheikh Abdur from Sudan. Sheikh bin Baz, he really loves him, He used to be his driver and one of his students and what have you. So he has a very close relationship with him. The guy took the paper that I had from Sudan, he took it and he put it on the bottom like this. I said, the stack is this big. After the Sheikh got off the phone, he took it from the bottom.
Allahu Akbar.
And he said to him, Sheikh Uthman from Sudan, and he read the tazkiyah, the recommendation. And I really believe that maybe the recommendation was a little,
embellished, as we say.
Yeah, a little too, I didn't really deserve all I think was in there. But the Sheikh, if you saw him, Rahimahullah, how his face lit up.
Yes.
And he started smiling. I've never seen him smile this big, and all my life, subhanAllah, all the times I've seen him, I've never seen him smile this big. And he said, I know who, where is he? So I said, I'm here, Sheikh. And I came and I kissed him on his forehead.
Yes.
And he said, also one of the things he would do, he would write the recommendation or help you, but you would have to come back maybe a week or two later because there's a lot of people in front of you. So he wrote the recommendation right there as everybody else was waiting.
Wow.
He told me, he said, no, write it now. Alhamdulillah. And he started to write it to Dar al-Hadith in Mecca, because that's what the guy from Sudan thought was a good idea.
Yes.
And I said, no, Sheikh, actually, I want to go to the University of Medina in Medina. So what he did during that time is he wrote immediately to the head of the university at that time was Sheikh Dr. Salih al-Aboud. At that time, he wrote to him a recommendation and for me to get accepted into the University of Medina. When he did this, I took it there. The Sheikh said something to me, and I said, he said, if it doesn't work out for you there, he said, come back to me in Riyadh and I will make a visa for you, an iqama, residence visa, so you can seek knowledge with me in Riyadh. And I said, I wish I had done that, because these were...
And that would have been, yes,
obviously.
Very
Alhamdulillah,
yeah.
I found a lot of khair later in Medina.
Yeah.
Alhamdulillah, obviously I got accepted with the tazkiyah from the Sheikh, and from the fadl of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, from the blessing of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. I got accepted to the University of Medina.
MashaAllah. What program did you enter there?
Okay, when I first went, I was able to speak Arabic and understand Arabic very good, alhamdulillah, because my wife is Arab.
And for your experiences in Sudan.
Yeah, in Sudan. And I traveled a little bit around the Arab world, so my Arabic was not bad when it came to understanding and it came to reading. When it came to understanding and speaking.
Yes.
However, reading and writing, I was very weak.
Yes.
So I started from level 1 in the Arabic program there. And what I did, some of the staff said you should start from level 2 because your Arabic is too good for level 1. I said also one of my goals is not just my reading and writing to become strong. Perhaps in the future, if I want to teach this, if I go back to America, what have you, if I learn from level 1, it's much easier to teach. Obviously, something I've studied. So I studied level 1 all the way to the end. And there was a way to prolong even for a third year. It was a 2-year program, but we could prolong for a third year to get a 5th level in. And that's what I did. So I took 3 years at the beginning, and I studied Arabic there. Alhamdulillah, my Arabic got good enough, and I was always, with the in the circles of the mashayikh, the ulama, the scholars in the Prophet's mosque, alayhi salatu wasalam, and other places in Medina, alhamdulillah.
So did you receive a certificate or some
type
of
they call it a diploma,
which
we consider an associate's degree, which is 2 years.
In Arabic or Islamic studies?
First of all, learning Arabic as a second language. That's the first thing I got. And then I went to the College of Hadith after that for a BA.
Good.
I was sick in the beginning for like the first year and a half there. So I went back to the new mufti. Sheikh McCarthy was dead at that time, rahimahullah. So I went back to the new mufti. I wanted to change because they said you can't change after 1 week, and I'm a year and a half.
Yes.
So I went back to the new mufti, Sheikh Abdulaziz al-Sheikh, hafidhullah. I went back to him and I requested from him that he helped me. I want to change the kulliyat. I explained to him the reasons why I want to change. So he wrote to me also to the same Sheikh Salih al-Aboud, the same head of the university, for me to change to the college. So then I made to change to another college so I could start a fresh start from the College of Da'wah and Usul al-Din. So I graduated, alhamdulillah, from the College of Da'wah and Usul al-Din with a BA, Islamic Studies from there.
Alhamdulillah.
And then that was 9 years. It took me after the 2 colleges and the Arabic program. I was there for 9 years. I wanted to stay for an extra year so I could finish some of the classical texts of fiqh and what have you outside of the university. So I stayed with some of the scholars there and I finished different books there. So I actually stayed in Medina, alhamdulillah, for 10 years during this time.
Very good.
Alhamdulillah.
Well, alhamdulillah. So now, since that time and since you're, alhamdulillah, seeking of knowledge in Sudan and in Saudi Arabia and in Medina, what kinds of, briefly, because we're about to run out of time, da'wah activities have you been involved in?
Okay. When I graduated, I was, reluctant. Where do I go? Back to America or to Sudan? And my whole family wanted to stay in Saudi Arabia.
Yes.
But I wanted to go somewhere where we'd be closer to one of our families. So we decided, that America might be difficult because, when it comes to raising children there, even though da'wah-wise, being between a place where I'm from, and helping the Muslims there, I'd be much more effective, obviously. I know this.
Yes.
But my children, they don't speak English, by the way. They speak only Arabic because they took the mother's language. We're trying with English now, but their main tongue is Arabic. It's easier in this part of the world, alhamdulillah, to raise the children. So we decided to go to Sudan. When I was in Sudan, I started teaching there in a school, Islamic Studies in English, and also Islamic Studies in Arabic and another school. So I taught in 2 schools there, and I was giving a lot of lectures in Arabic, in both Arabic and both English.
Right.
And also I was giving the khutbah of Jum'ah. I have television shows there on some Sudanese TV stations.
Very good. All right, and then we're for sure about out of time now. My producer is telling me. But right now, while you're in the Emirates, you're also teaching Islamic studies and Arabic in one of the schools here, I take it?
Okay, I decided to make a change. I wanted it to be easier for my family to come from the U.S. It's easier for them to come here to the UAE. So what I did, I decided to take a job here. I had an offer to teach Islamic Studies in English. I'm also teaching some classes in Arabic and at a school here in Dubai. So I've been here now for about 4 months doing that, teaching Islamic Studies and English at the school.
Alhamdulillah. Brother, thank you very much. It's been a fantastic story and a very fascinating story. May Allah reward you and strengthen you in your life and in your future. Alhamdulillah, inshallah. Really will. I hate we're out of time because I'd like to continue this more. But on behalf of Sharjah TV and our program Islam Today, we would like to thank our guests, Brother AbdurRaheem and myself, Muhammad Nubi. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.